Kristen Boss, for example, $97,000 a year or whatever. When we started out, she was making about $100,000. About a year later, made over $1 million, right? And now she's a seven-figure. I'm not going to go into any more details than that. But her nervous system, it's actually started breaking down when she had her first like $35,000-$40,000 a month. And she's like, I'm not worthy. She was crying, and I hopped on Zoom with her and just coached her through it because her body was saying, "You're not worthy of this. You're a fraud. How's this happening?" Wow. So the beliefs that we have will often support our identity, but then there's an energy. The other thing is energy. There's a lot of stuck energy, and I didn't understand. I was never woo-woo. I'm kind of a rational thinker. Give me evidence, give me the facts.
Yeah. You're a business guy. That's your background, building businesses and scaling things. Yeah.
Yeah. And my energy was like, but now I see that trauma can have a stuck energy, that pain, sadness, or joy, and you can move up the energy scale to love. And you look at a Jesus, you look at a Gandhi, you look at a Mother Teresa. They had a different, vibrant energy, and they would lift the rooms magnetically. Deepak Chopra lifts the rooms. Oprah Winfrey, Tony Robbins lifts the room. Graham, you walk into Kajabi, boom, lifts the room. And that's what we want to be. We want to be lid lifters. But to be that, we have to have that energy where we're tapped into love and joy, and it's flowing, because it's almost like we want this energy to be flowing like a river, not like stuck and stagnant like a swamp.
That's so powerful. I think the container analogy is helpful for me. It's like before you can increase what you want. If you want more love in your life, or joy, or money, or for me, like us in the content space, I want more viewers or impact. Like, you have to increase the internal mental container to be able to allow that to be filled. It's funny, yesterday, Mike, I had lunch with a young gentleman at our church who's just sharp, man. He's building a real estate business, and he's 25. His name's Josh. And I had lunch with him because we wanted to get together, and I wanted to get to know his story. I'm like, dude, I was playing Xbox at 25, and like trying to figure out my life. And you seem to be really on top of it. And it's a different level of maturity. I'm like, what's your deal? What's your story? And he talked about what he's doing and building wealth in real estate. And he said, man, I was like, well, what started that drive? And he said, I was poverty started that. I grew up with a single mom, bad part of town in Tennessee. And I was like, I'm so tired of being broke and so tired of being poor. And he's like, I was like, well, what changed? He's like, when I was 19, I was the first person in my family to go to college, and I'm in college, and I'm still wasting my time, but I'm there. And at 19, it's like, I don't know what happened, Graham. He said, I just imagined myself as a millionaire. And I just was identity. Like, he just shifted. Yeah. He said, I know I don't want to be poor anymore. So he's like, Graham, I like literally could close my eyes. And I just picture myself like, yeah, that makes sense. I'm a millionaire. And he really settled on that identity first. And then he was like, okay, what do millionaires do? Well, they invest in things or build businesses. Or he's like, I don't know. And he started to seek out, mentorship and read books. He's like, Graham, he's like, now it's 6 years later, and he's had a couple of multi-six-figure years, and he has a few properties in Tampa that he's building and flipping, and he's working for another company. He's like, the dude is crushing it, and he's well on his way. He said, but my family, it's all it must be nice. Must be nice. Yeah. And he was like, I'm literally you. Like, I just decided at 19 that I'm a millionaire now, and I'm going to figure this out. But they can't see past their identity. I just thought it was a really interesting picture. Yeah. Like, he decided to expand his container, and he hadn't filled it yet. He was still a broke college kid, but he's filling that container right now.
100%.
And he's probably on track to create a billionaire container at this point, because he's just so sharp and so willing to get it done, and he's such a people person. But that's been my story too, of like, the things I've asked God for in prayer, the things I've dreamed about, they've changed. They've grown so much, because I could only see but so far. When I lost my job, I was like, if I could just make $4,000 a month consistently, I would be so happy. And that was all I could see as a container. I'm a $4,000 a month guy. I'm a $50,000 a year guy. Yeah. And then it was gosh, maybe I could be $100,000 a year guy.
Yeah.
Then maybe I could be a then it could be $1 million. Wow, that'd be crazy. And these containers kept increasing. I know we're using money as language, but it's really the same thing of you have to see it as being possible in your mind first. And then I think so many of us, and I'm a how person, I would get hung up on the how. Well, how is that possible? But the how is not a great first question if you don't believe that you could be that person first.
Spot on. And how throws monkey wrenches in our story, and we have to, so many of us believe we have to figure out the how before we can really start, and that's just a total BS myth. Look at Elon Musk. 2018, get this, 2018, he was 2 hours away from being bankrupt with Tesla.
That's crazy.
And SpaceX wasn't far behind, right? Like both businesses in the period of 2016 to 2018 were almost on the edge all the time until he finally got the breakthrough with the Model S and then the NASA contract and all that. And now he's worth whatever, 250 billion or something.
It's insane.
Or more.
Yeah.
And he creates new companies all the time. I'm going to build a boring company, tweeting he's stuck in traffic. And he creates it because he believes he has an identity that says, yes, I am capable of this. And then his beliefs will match it, which then he takes positive energy, positive movement towards it. And so I think in that kid you're talking about, yeah, he's going to be there because he's making positive energy, and he's also putting himself. The other thing is, our reality, our environment either supports or undermines the reality that we want to create. And so that kid's being intentional about putting people like you in his life, right? Mm-hmm. Because now he's going to see, oh, it is possible. This is how I can do it. And some other practical ways you can do this. I've done it. Like my wife really likes this one really nice hotel in Ireland. It's like $1,200 a night. Mm-hmm. And when we were there in 2020, I was like, I'm not paying $1,200 a night for this thing.
Love you, babe,
and my psychology doesn't support that at that time. But I was like, all right, I'm going to, but also I'm like, that's a limiting belief to say I can't afford this.
Mm-hmm.
So what am I going to do? I'm going to start moving my nervous system into feeling safe with that place. So we bought the $100 person lunch thing that has all the fancy sandwiches on 5 trays because it's a British high tea or whatever.
Heck yeah.
So we did that, and we had that 3-hour lunch in that beautiful environment, took pictures and just easing my mind into it. I've done before I bought my first Tesla, I'm going to get another one. I have an Audi now, but when I get a Tesla, but at the first time I was like, I rode in someone's and it felt amazing. And then I was like, I went and test drove one 6 months before I wasn't planning on buying it 6 months later, but my brain had kind of shifted into, it is possible for me to have a Tesla. And then I figured out a way, the how. Mm-hmm. And so I'm 100% with you, man. It's like you gotta move your identity, move your beliefs, and move your energy and environment to support the reality that you want to create. And it is, Henry Ford was bankrupt at age 43 for the second time. 10 years later, world's wealthiest man. And those things are possible for any of us at any season of life.
That's so powerful, man. Oh my gosh, I could go on and on about this. I have one last question before we get into that, though. You have a couple of practical resources people can get, because I have a feeling they're going to be like, how do I start rewiring my brain? So what resources can people jump onto for free to start practicing this stuff?
Yeah, so I've got I call it Rewired Guide, and it's really an ebook. It's phenomenal. It breaks down everything from neuroscience, alter egos, how to rewire your identity, your beliefs, and your energy. It goes through healing trauma. We didn't get into healing trauma as much in this conversation, but the other aspect of when you heal, trauma is a big deal for a lot of leaders, and we're most of the time unaware of some areas of trauma we might have. So we go through a lot of that from the peak performance psychology. I also talk about flow state. The other thing that when you shift into flow state, you're 500% more productive, and you release all 6 neurochemical cocktails. So I unpack some of that, and then also even some nootropics and other brain optimization supplements that you can get on Amazon that are pretty simple, but they make a significant difference to your brain energy which means you feel like I have an Olympic athlete right now. She's the world's 16th fastest woman using 2 of the supplements that I recommend. Because she's seeing the difference in her performance and her focus and presence. So those are some of the things. It's neurorewiring.com.
Neurorewiring.com. Excellent. Awesome.
Yeah.
And then tell us, they also have you have this free NLP session. Claim Your Power, right?
It's called Claim Your Power NLP session. When you grab that ebook on rewiring yourself, you'll have the access to the Claim Your Power NLP, but you can also go to my YouTube channel, which is not nearly as good as Graham's, by the way, but Graham's is killer. So definitely check out Graham's if you haven't yet. But Claim Your Power NLP, I've had almost 30,000 people do at least one session. I've had many people just go through it 10 or 15 times because they found it so powerful. Yeah.
That's awesome. And that'll give you a taste of like what Mike and I did together a few times, both in person and then even on Zoom calls.
Yeah.
I love that. Neurorewiring.com. We'll link to that below. Final question, man, before we wrap this up, because this is a segment we do, and this can go in any direction you want. It can be off topic. It's something I call the Golden Rule segment. And it's really simple. Remind me your daughter's name.
Sonnet.
Sonnet. I love that. Such a cool name. I know your wife is mega creative as well, so that makes sense. Okay, so if Sonnet, she's 2, but you're teaching her incredible things, and you're going to raise her to be an incredible young woman, and she'll do amazing stuff, I have no doubt. But if Sonnet grows up and forgets everything you ever taught her, except for one thing, one piece of advice that she actually would keep and carry with her for the rest of her life, almost like a golden rule, what would you want that to be for her?
Man, that's such a tough question, because I could go down the pathway of love, go down the pathway of genius, go down the pathway of impact.
You got to pick one.
I know, Graham.
On the spot.
So I would say for Sonnet, I dare you to love boldly while pursuing your genius without setting limits on your impact on the world, because your life is meant to be lived out loud and to be an example to stretch others into the realm of possibilities for their own life. So live boldly, pursue your deepest areas of gifting, because you will find your deepest areas of flow, and impact will follow as you step into those 2 areas, knowing you are meant to serve and unlock people's gifting and joy and capacity for love. So that was not a one sentence, but
you cheated, Mike. It was beautiful, but you cheated. You snuck them all in there. Hey, man, I have a coach at the gym says if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. So I love it. That's beautiful. And one thing you did say in there that I thought was great is no limits.
Yeah.
And there's just no limits. I love how you help people remove those limitations so that they can achieve all the things that they're meant to achieve.
Yeah. Well, dude, thanks for having me on. And dude, it was such a pleasure also, working with you on the VIP side. Love how you show up. And I can't wait to connect with your audience and see how I can support them as well in their journey. But dude, and I can't wait for your next book. Rebel's going to be epic, man. This is going to be a big stepping stone for you in your journey.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, man. I'm pumped for it. Everyone, Mike Zeller, go check him out. MikeZeller.com. Check out neurorewiring.com for the free ebook. And Mike, it's been a pleasure, man. Love you. Appreciate you.
Love you, bro. See you soon.